All right, welcome to episode 324 of the Current Gen podcast. My name is Tim, here with Kyle and Jeff. Welcome in, my friends. Are you guys feeling like British spies this week? Is a British accent going to pop in a little bit this week?
Yeah, maybe, isn't it? I don't know.
Might be,
We'll
isn't
see.
it? I got a big bottle of water for this one.
Oh, no, not bottled
Nice.
water.
Oh, dude, is that the kind that, like, as you drink it, it has like little phrases like encouraging you?
Yeah,
along the
I
way?
refilled it. I refilled it earlier, so I'm only at like 9 a.m. or whatever.
Thanks.
I saw one. Like, that's it. Almost
Yeah.
there. It's
One
that kind of
at
stuff.
5 p.m. It says no excuses. It's the only one that's like, come on,
I don't
man.
need my water bottle.
It's the only one.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
The rest are
Pass.
like, you can do it, yay! And that one's like, come on, dude.
It's like, come on, bro.
Take it home.
No, I get it. Yeah, but we're all feeling a little bit British this week because the new James Bond game is out, and I gotta tell you, it's been since probably say since college years that I was like looking forward to a James Bond video game. So this has been quite the experience, and we'll talk about that as well as a few other games that are out this week and some headlines. But before we dive into that, we mentioned earlier that Forza Horizon 6 is going through its seasonal stuff. Are you guys still playing Forza? What are your thoughts on that as you've
Just
continued
playing
to
it today, yeah.
work your way through it? Okay. Yeah, what do you think
Had to
about
check
the
out
new
fall.
seasonal stuff or anything else?
I love it. Man, they changed all the colors of everything. I mean, that's not new to the series or game or whatever, but like, they don't need to do that, you know? Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, not unlike, Shadows from last year. It's just like, I love that, like, just a little change of palette can make everything kind of feel fresh again.
Yeah.
And I'm racing around and cleaning up the map, and it's a good time.
Yep. Are you guys getting notifications when people pass your scores? Because I'm not. So I don't know if that's...
I'm
feel
not
like
because
it
no
did
one's
last
passing my
time.
scores. So no, I don't know if that's true. I got one rival from a guy I don't know who it is, and it's like he beat your time. I'm like, this can't be the only guy who's beaten my times. You know, I haven't circled back and like, tried to like get good times or anything. So, y'all are out there beating my times for sure, and I'm not getting notified now. So
I have a few times, but I also know you guys played before me. So you rolled through it, and you're like, "Well, I don't have any motivation to try to shave a few more milliseconds off because there's no one ahead of me on the leaderboard. I'm the only one who's played it so far. So you can just roll to the next thing. I have the motivation because I'm like, oh, I'm a second and a half behind what Kyle or Jeff did there. I got to try this a few more times until I get it perfect.
Yeah, there was a couple times Jeff and I were playing together, and he would beat one of my scores, and I would pedally go back and beat his. And then there were other times where I would try and race against one of his times, and I'm like, I was a second off. Well, I guess I can't beat that one. And I would just give up immediately. So.
I would be like, I think we were on chat the first couple days that we were playing and doing different things, and
Fun
I was
time
like,
playing this game co-op, by the way.
I just totally beat Kyle's score. Kyle, don't if you could just leave that alone, I appreciate that.
Immediately got in a drag racing car.
And immediately he'd be like, no, that's not. We're not gonna have this. Yeah.
We're not doing this tonight.
I'm gonna go do some research, find a better car, and beat your time. Hang on a second. Yep, that's how it goes. No, that game is amazing. It's beautiful too, and I will say that playing on PC every once in a while, I'll get like this. Your video memory is running low, so maybe close other programs. I'm looking around. I'm like, everything else is closed, so I'm not sure what. And so I did find that some PC players,
Master Race.
Yeah,
Master
it
Race.
sounds like as you play, especially if like the time of day changes, the sun is setting, whatever. Mm-hmm. And this sounds like it's something that needs to be patched. It's not like a problem with each individual PC. It's more like if it tells you it's going to use, let's say, I don't know, 6K of your video memory, and all of a sudden it's ramping up into the 8, 9, 10K, then it's going to give you a warning like, hey, your video memory is running out. And I'm going, I didn't do anything. Like, you stop using it. I set my visual settings to a point where it shouldn't be a problem. But anyway, that's the only issue I've had with it. I think it's crashed on me once during a race. And that was after a rewind where I took a real bad corner, and I was towards the end of the race and I was so annoyed. So I hit rewind twice really quickly and hit A really quick. And as soon as I hit A, everything just kind of froze, and all I could hear was the engine revving, but nothing was moving. So like I just waited for 2 minutes and then just shut it off. And then that's the only issues I've had with it, is that and the video memory usage. Everything else has been
that happened to me on
smooth.
PC I played Forza Horizon 5 on PC mostly because I had a Series S, and it was obvious at the time. Got a Series X since then, so it looks great, but Series S was not good at all for what the environment was trying to show you. Like it was fine. Yeah, it was like fine, but like it's Forza. Come on, man. You want all the bells and whistles. So I switched to PC, and I had that happen so many times. And I say so many, it's more like 4 or 5 out of however many hours I played into it. Yeah, too many. I want a refund. So I want a refund on this Game Pass game. So the worst timing, of course, is when you're in the middle of like this crazy skill streak during like a double skill song or whatever. And I'm like over like 100, 200 or whatever. And then it's like for like a minute. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So a few technical issues here and there, usually PC related for that one. I just think it's going to be one of the more taxing games, which is funny because, again, as they go to the cutscenes, part of me is like, just stay zoomed out or leave them in their cars for talking. Like, stop trying to show me human characters. Exactly. This game is not good at it.
It's so funny. I was looking at graphics of like the human stuff in like the original Forza Horizon, and I'm not even kidding you. The avatars look better in that game, and the camera work is better in that game. Like in this, they're like, hey, I'm a cardboard cutout, like PS5, 4 graphic, low res, character model against like this ultra real 4K, car in background. I'm like, how did we screw this up?
I mean,
Fable
if you're gonna put in that little
like effort, I'll tell you that the humans in Fable might not look anything like this.
Yeah, this is not a good showing for what Fable could look like. I know that's not gonna be the case, but yeah, with how beautiful the game is, like absolutely unbelievably gorgeous. Just like all the previous games, they kind of set a new bar every time. And then you see the characters get out and start walking around, talking and moving. I'm like, this looks like PS3. This is not great. It's just not good. But anyway, but those are like real small nitpicks. It's just such a freaking fun game. I love getting on there and just like pulling up the map to see, okay, there's a whole section of grayed out roads. I'm just gonna literally just go kind of free riding and switch on one of the radio stations or put on my own music and just drive around and clear some of the roads I haven't discovered yet and just drive for fun and find some of the mascots to boink over or whatever. Like it's just really fun to just drive around. And so I
do you notice that on some of the mascots, like depending on what they are, like squeak or their face changes when you hit them. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice the face. I didn't notice the faces, but I hear this little squeaks when you hit them.
Yeah, they're like it's like a wham. But yeah, the face is one like it'll change. It'll change to like a Train when he's or something. Yeah.
Remember Bullet Train when he's punching the mascot and it's like squeaking every time he punches it. It's like that.
It's like that. I love that movie.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, I do too. Anyway, yeah, it's just a real good time. So I recommend to folks, you got to try Forza. To me, this is going to be a really fun in-between game throughout the summer, just to jump back in, see what the seasonal stuff is, just run a few races. It's just a lot of fun. Forza Horizon 5 was that for me a couple years ago, but the timing was different because it came out, I want to say it came out in the fall the last time that they released one of these games. And it was right in the holiday rush, but I could be wrong. Maybe that's just when I played it. I feel like it was
might have been.
There's no way to find out, so don't look it up.
I think that sounds right because we talked about it so much at Game of the Year time because it was probably more fresh in our mind.
Contrarian. That's all. That's what I'm adding.
You know what? You're wrong. Came out in February.
You're both wrong, and we're not going to look it up. So I guess we're all wrong.
Yeah, that is fair. But anyways, yeah, Forza, of course, absolutely amazing time. Really enjoying that one. But the new game that's out this week that we want to spend a little time chatting about is this little game called, oops, I brought up the wrong video of us talking about it. This is 007 First Light. So the name James Bond, of course, not even in the title. So that's a fail, number one.
That's an immediate 3-point dock, so that's a 7 out of 10 guaranteed.
They don't even call him 007 in this, so it's like, why? What do you?
Yeah.
Why is it even called that? Why not James?
It's not
Bond
even 00. Yeah, he's just some guy.
Yeah, just some dude in.
So here we go.
Like Harry Potter Hogwarts Spy School.
Oh my God, the inclusion of this TikTok guy was so funny.
And
yeah.
I like that. It's so good.
There's a few TikTokers that are in this.
Yeah,
I missed all of them except for that guy because that bit was.
I don't know who any of these people are, so I missed all of them.
The Harry Potter reference is perfect though because your two friends Monroe and Cressida are Ron and Hermione. Like they're your best friends.
Oh my God, I didn't.
They're into each other.
That.
Like
they are into
that's
each
true.
other.
That's
You're
true.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
But dude, this game. So there's a lot to be said about it. But I want to say first off, if you're a James Bond movie fan, like maybe you're like, yeah, I played GoldenEye a little bit, but the games are never good. Totally agree with you. The games are rarely like a lot of the James Bond games are not worth going back and revisiting. A lot of them.
No.
GoldenEye in some cases is kind of fun for nostalgia, but even then, I don't know. It just
GoldenEye was
doesn't
good
hold
for the
up
time.
compared to.
I don't want to pretend like
For
it's
the
great
time,
for the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, perfect for the time.
But
the last time I enjoyed
this is
Listening
absolutely this is a James Bond movie. This is just a James Bond movie that happens to be a video game where you're controlling it. Like it's a reboot of the movie franchise. Is what it feels like to me. And I'm not all the way through it yet. I'm pretty far into it, though. I know you guys have both finished it. I'll hear they're showing clips from Hitman. So this, of course, being from IO Interactive and the folks behind the Hitman games. And they used to be owned by Square, but they essentially bought their own independence. They bought out their contract from Square, and I think for the last 7 years or so have been completely independent, doing self-publishing for stuff like Hitman,
making that Hitman, dude, making it rain with that Hitman stuff. Yeah,
Get away
absolutely.
From Square. And they had no idea what they were doing with IO, so
absolutely. So I'm glad that worked out because a lot of times that ends up crashing and burning, and devs get shuttered, and we never hear from them again. But in this case, IO went independent, kept making great Hitman content, and of course announced this game. And there was something for some reason in my head. I'm like, yeah, this is published by EA, right? Like I just thought there was some big corporation that was publishing it, and it's not. This is all IO. And
how did you get that? Sorry, I'm watching some of these clips, and I'm like, I didn't get that.
Yeah, there's a lot of different paths. So the fact that it's made by IO is the point I wanted to bring up. It is not. It's a linear story, but when you get into these areas, it is so Hitman coded, and not to the extreme. To the folks who have played Hitman, you're like, well, parts of that frustrate me because I don't know where I'm going, and it doesn't hold your hand as much as you'd like in some cases, and I get that. This definitely holds your hand a lot more. It doesn't give you very long to wander before it tells you exactly where to go.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever lost in this game.
I agree with that.
But it does have like multiple opportunities. Like, for example, there's a point where you need to make a bunch of money to buy your way into this auction. And I wanted to do all the things, and I wasn't able to do the third one. I was like, all right, I already got the money. And it kind of like locked me out from talking to who I needed to talk to. And I couldn't go do that third thing. But because I just wanted to experience it. I wanted to see the dialogue. I wanted to see what happens when I did that third option. But anyway, so I like that they give you multiple paths. There's multiple, even when you're driving, which is so linear, you could probably just hold in the gas button and
you can. There's multiple videos of people doing it, and everyone's mad about it. So
yeah, it's fine.
It's like literally 2% of the game.
Yeah, and also those people who are doing those videos have it on easy, so it's kind of like it's kind of guiding already anyway. So
yeah,
but when you're driving, almost every time
the one chase is like exceptional. Like it's so good. Don't get me wrong, but like it is funny that like
I had a hard time.
I was so pumped about the car stuff,
and Forza was felt so good.
Yeah, dude.
This does
I'm
not
so glad you said that.
At all.
Yeah, the driving felt so bad after Forza.
I could have done without any of the driving, but I would have complained if it wasn't there because you have to have a chase scene. It's James Bond 101.
Gotta have a
chase
chase
scene.
This one right here.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it is, and I'm glad they're in there regardless. You know,
and I'm sure there's car stuff.
It's not a driving game either, so you can't expect you can't expect.
There's car stuff in the in the tax sim. Is that right? Like Aston Martin something is coming for.
Not yet, but there will be.
For the tactical
they haven't
simulator.
Added it yet, I don't think.
Yeah, they haven't added it yet. That's next week's content.
Sounds like it's in the future though, which is cool.
Oh, see this guy. See that laser saved my life. I bring the laser on every mission, by the way.
Yeah,
as soon as they gave
me too. Me too.
My
favorite part is the I don't know what you call it, like the ludo narrative, whatever. I don't know if this is like the right way to use it, but when you have that laser watch and you're literally blinding somebody that's right next to you, and they have no idea, they're just like, "Oh, I can't see," and you're like, "Literally right here, like I'm standing right in front of you."
How did you not see that?
How did you not see the laser?
Yeah.
And then I just pickpocket them or whatever I needed to do.
But yeah, if you are a James Bond fan, there's so much here that you're gonna see and hear, characters you'll meet that you're like, holy cow, like this is a new version of that character that I've known. So it's got all the classics from Moneypenny and M and Q, and but then also they introduce a whole bunch of new characters. But even when you first get introduced to some of the primary villains you're going up against, it feels so James Bond. Like it feels like one of those films. Like the whether it's an outfit they're wearing or the kind of hairstyle they have or like little twists about. I don't want to say too much because it is fun to discover it as you play through the story. Like,
we all had that early moment in the first real mission of the game where we're like, oh.
Yeah. Now that makes sense. Why? Okay.
Oh,
yeah, it's
damn.
really great. It's really great.
Yeah.
So when I got
Oh, I
to
love
this,
the
this
club
is
scene.
like
Club
the
scene's
the
so fun.
recruits are celebrating, and of course they get put on
This is
a
such
kind
a
of
great level.
in the moment
Yeah.
training last training session. This was so like if you guys played the newer Hitman games, this reminded me so much of. There's a pretty
It did,
major
yeah.
Of the
section of that.
Berlin, the Berlin
Yeah,
nightclub.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's that, but here's the difference, and I want to make it really, really clear. The Hitman lead, Agent 47, he might have a couple of dry, sarcastic remarks, but he is really bland as a character, and I like that about him. He's very kind of Geralt from The Witcher. It's more about how
Yeah.
he doesn't emotionally respond to anybody around him, which makes him
Yeah.
interesting, and I like him. That's what makes him work. James Bond, though, just can't help himself. Like
Dude,
the
quip
absolute
everywhere.
like smart remarks. He just can't stop it, and I love that about him. And it's very good. The voice actor, the motion cap
This
actor
guy's so
did a great
likable,
job.
Yeah.
Did a great
Yeah,
job.
the writing I got to give them props on because it felt very authentic to Bond. Like it didn't feel like Nathan Drake sometimes has lines where I'm like, okay, you're trying too hard to be like Indiana Jones, but it still mostly works. But none of
Especially
this
early
felt
on.
like, yeah, none of this felt like out of character at all. If you knew Bond through and through his entire franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's great. His supporting cast is amazing. I think Lenny James didn't need to go as hard as he does, but he's great. He really pours it in. He's like
Greenway.
So good.
Serious.
How did they get that guy?
Greenway.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
That's a huge actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge, and he has a huge part in this game. Like he had to do a lot of voice work, you know. Yeah.
Great role, and they have great banter. There's multiple times when the two of you have a long extended period of time
hate
together.
Each other for the majority of the game, and
but their banter is excellent.
Animosity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I love Lenny James' humor too. Is very, 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 very dry. And it is. That's like the kind of Hitman type of thing, I guess, but it's a little more than that, of course. But like, well, yeah, when he delivers a line that's like a zinger to Bond, and the way Bond brushes it off, it's like it sounds so brutal, but it's so funny because it's Lenny James' delivery. Like, he's just perfect for that role, dude. Blew me away that they got it.
It's great. It's great, and it makes these key moments that happen actually mean something more because there's a lot of hostility, of course, between the trainer and the hotshot, recruit. Of course, there's going to be, and that kind of works in this. But there's a part where you're spending a lot of time together out of a forced circumstance, and Bond makes a joke about drinking on the job, and that's the first time he kind of makes Greenway chuckle, like for real. He's kind of like, huh. Like he actually laughs at one of Bond's jokes, and I was like, hey, I think he's starting to like
me. We got him, folks.
Yeah, we cracked him.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty excellent. But the only downside character-wise is when we're seeing here, I didn't really like Lenny Kravitz as this character. Like his design is super cool, and like his role in the story I thought was great. No problem with it. I just thought it just felt a little bit like, I know that's Lenny Kravitz and he can't.
Dude, I'll be honest, like when they first advertised him, I was like, he's the main, like I took it as he's the main villain. Thank God he's not, because that would have been
I didn't take it that way.
That would have been
I kind of thought he might be
infuriating.
Yeah, I didn't think he would be,
yeah, but
such a small role, so I don't want to make a big deal out of it. But
and he had a great presence, of course, because he's Lenny Kravitz. But like,
he looks cool.
Bond, like they always stunt cast to like do like henchmen or like
in
bad guy characters. I don't think he's just a particularly good actor. I think that's my problem. So it's like I get it. Like I see what you're doing. Like I follow the thread. But I just think maybe chose the wrong guy, maybe.
Well, it's also because he's surrounded by all these other amazing actors. Most of them I've never heard of. I went on IMDb and I'm looking. I'm like, I haven't heard of most of these folks. I can see that the work they've been in, I've played or watched some stuff they've been in. I just didn't know them by face or by name in most of these cases, and they're all crushing it. All these characters, I'm like,
the actress
hook,
right
line,
here who plays M. She was in No Time to Die. She played some background part. And it's just crazy to come full circle and be like a major role in one of the better Bond video games.
We're talking about AI with Google now. All of a sudden, let me skip ahead and whatever.
Skip ahead to
this. Moneypenny is great. Like, listen, I'm really digging all the characters, but let's talk about, because I thought the writing's great, the visuals are great, the acting and all that is really great. It's got great set pieces. It'll make you feel like you're playing an Uncharted game when you jump into these crazy set pieces and chases. And they do
but a little more grounded than Uncharted. Uncharted can get super wacky sometimes.
Yeah, you're not jumping off an actively falling building 20 feet in the air.
Right. And your character, not just that, but like your character coming up unscathed or just going ow, or the fact that you're killing people for treasure and you never get charged with anything. Like at least, like Kyle's saying, this is like rooted in the world where it like makes sense. It's not just video game action.
And you can't,
It's
and
like,
the license to kill system kind of grounds it even more, where it's like you're a
it
government
does.
official. You can't just like walk into an
You
area and
literally
just kill
can't
people.
aim your gun
Yeah, you
until they
have to
try to
like
kill you.
exactly
Yeah.
until someone brings out their gun, which can initiate by like you taking a little too long, like in a fisticuff situation, or if you let someone call for backup and backup fails, and they'll pull out their gun because they get scared or something like that. Like it's that will initiate the gunplay. But like I love that like the game kind of like silos you off into like this, you know, you're using your fist, or you're driving your car, or you're shooting your guns, or you're just doing not puzzles, but like social engineering and stuff like that. I like that. It all just melts together so well.
Yeah, me too. But another big piece of this game that really sets it apart from IO's previous games, because they, you know, we've got the disguises. There's multiple ways to approach a situation. Really great work with a huge location filled with people, and they crushed that in the Hitman games, and you feel it here too, in the mansion and the nightclub, all these different locales. It's fantastic. But then they brought in something that I have never experienced in a Hitman game, and that is really fun, really meaningful combat, like third-person shooting and melee combat that works, feels good. Now, in the Hitman games, there have been times when I've been forced to pull the gun and just start running and gunning, and it's fine. It's okay. But I've never felt like this is fun. This is what I want to do. Yeah. It's never
I don't
like
think they want you to do it
amazing.
either. Yeah.
That's true. That's
Exactly.
true. You're supposed to just scurry along and not get caught.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
But what I really love in this is the combat system. So tell me a little bit what you guys think about with the shooting system. Of course, it's cover based. You can jump from cover to cover. You can pop out and shoot and pop back. Of course, you got all your gadgets, and then you got hand to hand combat. How is it landing for you guys? As you both wrapped up the main story, but how did it land for you guys?
Yeah, it never stopped. It never stopped gratifying you. Like each level, you'd unlock some new tech or something that opens up something new in the combat. Like we mentioned, the watch. There's more stuff that comes along later on in the game that's a little explosive, if you catch my drift. And like it's just hey yo. And I love that it's very rooted in like crap. Like what do I do? I'm in this situation. Because he fights like Jason Bourne in this, where he's just like, I'm just going to pick this up and throw it at you. And the guy beats another. Jason Bourne beats a guy with a book, for crying out loud, in the third movie.
Yeah, he does.
Like, so like it's that kind of thing where it's environmental, and if you're close to a wall and you're continuing to move your character that way as you're punching, he'll just start throwing the guy's head against a wall or a corner, something like that. It's just very kinetic, I guess is the word. You know, like it just, and it doesn't, stealth is very gratifying too when you're in like a shipyard full of a ton of guys, and the game's not telling you have to take all of them out to get to where you need to go at all. And it makes you feel even better when you can just it makes you feel even better when you can just like take them out with a proximity mine or whatever, and then nobody is the wiser, and you just go to your next
or just distract and run past them and distract and
right
run past
them.
Like you can get through there without coming in contact with anybody. It's hard.
I know that's more stealth, but stealth and combat kind of they interlink with cells, I guess, as you would say.
And the stealth it's like it kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. The stealth, it's not like Hitman where like when you get found, it's a map wide, like you're in trouble. Like the whole map knows
mission
like,
over.
You got it. Like this is like it's like I don't know, like a
there's no body discovered thing. You just hear somebody go, "What?"
No, like like you might like there might be people all in this room, but you might be off in the corner, and there might be like furniture in between you and like the rest of the room, and you could take out the 3 people on that side of the room without even alerting the whole room. Or maybe you do kind of throw someone maybe towards those guys, and you alert that whole room, but the whole complex isn't alerted. So you kind of have this like, okay, I messed up this room with stealth, I'm going to beat up all these guys. But then you go right back to stealth again. Whereas Hitman, you kind of have to like, well, I got found. I'm going to have to go somewhere and hide for a little while, cool down. Everyone's going to be kind of in an alerted state for the rest of the
map. He just blinded and made somebody sick right next to them. It's so funny.
It's just, I like that part of it. Yeah. But when you do get into the fisticuffs, it's very Arkham. It's very like easy to parry. Yellow, you parry. Red, you move, and once you get into the flow state of that, and like you're just like Batman, like you're not getting hit, you're bouncing around everywhere, you're vaulting over, low counters and kicking people and stealing their gun and unloading that entire magazine into somebody, and I like that
gun.
bullets are like there's an economy to bullets. Like you pick up a gun, it might have 10 bullets in it, and like there's not just crates everywhere, you kind of have to like procure the guns in front of you, and you're kind of using them immediately, throwing them away, using them as weapons themselves.
Make every shot count.
And it just feels great. And you have a slow motion. That's like my favorite mechanic in anything ever.
I love I barely use the focus, which is so funny to me. Like,
I use it a lot.
That's insane. I use it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a headshot guru. What can I say? I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're too good.
Sure.
You're just too good.
I am too, because I have it slowed down. Yeah. What a weird flex.
I love that the combat can get dicey, like extremely dicey. Like there's a part where you get ambushed, and it's just kill box, kill box, kill box. Not in a negative way, but it is like, holy crap, how many guys did they sick on us here? And it is literally, you're like charging at guys to steal their weapon and then unload that and then throw the gun at the next guy and get their gun. Like it's just
everything
crazy
feels so improvisational. So it's like you might walk in with a plan, it immediately screws up, and now you're I got to use my gadgets to get out of this situation. I've got to like maneuver around. It's just like, I just love how on like your toes everything makes you feel in this game, but you're also powerful. So it's like you're never like, I died plenty. There's some moments where like it can get pretty tough, but like it like you never feel not empowered, and I like just how much I could improv, this room or whatever, in terms of like what I thought I was going to do and what I ended up doing, and it never felt bad ever, and it always looked cool, and it always looked cinematic, and it's just cool, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. The most I've died is there's a sequence where you need to disarm a whole bunch of booby traps, and I thought I was doing great until I would be like, oh, missed one. Okay, let's start over again. So that happens.
There's going to be a lot of like little tiny sequences or whatever, or even some boss fights where you're like, okay, where do you want me to go? What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like,
what was I supposed to do here?
And I just get mad, and I'm like, oh, I'm dumb. That's the problem. Oops.
Yeah. Right. There's a giant blue tarp hanging on every ledge you're supposed to go on. What was I looking at?
Like, you're supposed to. You
Sometimes
can vault
yellow,
over the plants. I'm an idiot.
Yellow or blue. Yeah. Yeah. So listen, it's got a lot of the video gamey things, but I mean that in a good way. So I don't think people are going to play this, and it's not a sim game. You're not like simulating being a secret agent, and you have like, it's not that. It is very much a summer blockbuster movie. It's a video game, and it just happens to have a couple of different paths you can take when you're in certain locations where you saw some of the examples as we were watching, like you can either go to get this camera at this one spot, or you can convince a guard to let you through to go into the staff only room to get a camera there, because you need a camera to get upstairs with the lady that you've eavesdropped on. So there's a lot of different paths to take, but ultimately it gives you a pretty direct route to where it is you're supposed to go, because the game doesn't want you to waste hours and hours exploring and talking to people.
You're Bond. You're supposed to feel smart and like cool and yada, and the game never makes you feel like you're not Bond. So it's like you're never sitting there going, "Durr, what do I do?" Except maybe those fleeting moments in boss fights or whatever, like we're talking about. But like,
very,
in general,
very
in those
fleeting.
quiet moments, if you just walk around, you will see an eavesdropping spot. That eavesdropping spot will give you one of maybe 8 ways or 4 ways to get into this area or to get your next objective. And maybe there's like 3 major ways with like little subplot ways to get to those major, 3 ways, but you only need to do it one way. You're never really like seeing everything in one level. So I imagine a replay on this might even be fun, because you might find new ways to like get to your objective and stuff. I think the game design is just really good, and the fact that I'm like not eager to get to the fighting, like I don't mind the quiet moments. I like walking around. I like the atmosphere and everything that it makes. I like the quips and talking to Moneypenny and stuff like that. So it's as exciting to me as the rest of the game, and then it's just complimentary when you get to the cool action stuff also. But again, it just does the perfect job of trading off on stuff that you never feel bored of anything, and you're excited that you're like, yeah, it's a shootout again. All right, we haven't been one of these in a while. Let's do this.
I even love the first time you go to MI6 and you're I don't know, you get access to QLab and stuff, and you're just going around pressing buttons. And I didn't even wait for a guy to ask. I didn't even wait for the guy to say, "Oh, here's what it is." He goes, "I suppose this isn't a lamp," and I just click the button, and the guy passes out because it's a stun. It's a stun lamp.
Well, I like there's always the one guy who's willing to be tested on. He's like, I'm okay with it.
And there was like one part where they're testing bulletproof or something SUVs or something like that, or explosive proof SUVs. And I went in there and pressed the button and it just leaked oil. And one of the one of the lab assistants went to walk around. She falls right on it. And I was like, they didn't even have to put this fun, stupid crap in the game. And it even happened to me in operations too. I went up to talk to Moneypenny, but before I went to her office, there was a conference room over there. And I looked in there to see if I recognized anybody. They saw me looking in and they turned the blinders on windows. I was like, this game does not have to think of this stuff. Like, you can just let me sit there and watch. But
there's also little like animations, like when you're walking around in your apartment and you're walking maybe next to a dresser, he'll slide his hand across the dresser, or maybe you're walking next to a bookcase, so like he'll slide his hand across the books and you can hear the sound of like the book binds, you know, being manipulated or whatever by his fingers. You don't need to do any of that. Like, what? You're in that apartment like twice, you know. Like, what do you?
True.
Why animate any of that, you know? But I think this game goes out of its way to do a lot of really cool stuff. To again, like, and you get a lot of that from Hitman. Maybe not the animation stuff, but again, that sense of atmosphere, that these places feel real and occupied and populated.
Exactly.
Details.
It's just good. It's just good details. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I will say, if people find themselves playing this and they're like, "Ooh, I really like the missions. I just wish I could do more. I want to do more." Like, that's what the Hitman games are. Like, minus the kind of quippy bondness of all of this, but you still are a secret agent. You're still going on missions trying to take out, or at least get in contact with, or something, some kind of really high priority target with tons of security, and each scenario is very unique and different. That's what the newer versions of Hitman are. The older versions were too. They don't play quite as smoothly. The newer ones, the World of Assassination trilogy,
they're just so old at this point.
I agree.
You're talking PS2, PS3, like, you know, controls.
Yeah.
But yeah, the recent trilogy, it's a less hand-holdy, bigger scope version of this.
Yep.
You know, so if you
you literally could do
chandeliers on people and stuff like that, you know, which you can do in
so many paths.
007 as well.
So many paths.
Absolutely do that in Hitman too, but
and more freedom to more freedom to like change outfits too, because in this one you do it like 3 times in Bond.
Yeah.
You can become anybody in one level. Basically,
you can knock out a clubber and like take their like goofy, you know, clothes, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, you got the outfits is of course a key part of it, and also like the assassinations are ridiculously creative. Anything from you find out a way to like sabotage their treadmill so that'll kill him, or you set off fireworks early so they'll go out on their balcony and you push them off the edge, or like there's all these different ways for you to like orchestrate the kill depending on which paths you choose, and the game will just kind of pop up with this little like new opportunity has been revealed, like ooh, and so like you want to go try that version of taking out the enemy. So it's a really good take on kind of, if you're experiencing this as the first IO game, then I would say Hitman is a great way to keep digging into the systems that they've added in here. But they've added these in a lightweight enough way. I don't think it's intimidating. It's very breezy. You can also set it on easy if you want to. Like, it's no big deal. Like, it's very cinematic. You'll enjoy it. But then they have tons of challenges, all these tac sim things. The tactical simulation area is like a whole separate game. It just feels like a whole separate spin-off of these series.
It's like, you know, Resident Evil has Mercenaries mode. That's what this is. It's an arcade, point-based, currency and level-based, you know, where you're leveling
speed runs.
You're getting currency, you're doing speed runs, you're replaying things. And then they borrow the stuff from Hitman, where it's like, kill people in this specific way or do this specific thing on this level. So those are all the challenges or whatever. And like, yeah, digging into those is fun too, you know.
So fun.
And they said that, and for the next 2 years, they're going to release all their new content via the tac sim. So we're going to get tons of new missions and challenges and levels, and, you know.
While they work on a sequel, I hope, because I want more of this. I want more of this. We don't have enough.
I'm not spoiling anything, but it does say James Bond will return at the end. So sorry if you thought he was going to die at the end of this game, but like they do the, you know, Avengers, Marvel, you know, like blah 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 will return. So it's like we're getting like they, I think, believe in this, and
good.
I think whoever owns the rights to James Bond is probably pretty thrilled that they're now a multimedia successful brand, you know, whereas
I think it's Amazon now.
As I was saying, at the Amazon owns them,
Amazon MGM.
I gotta tell you, it makes me want a reboot like this with the younger, snarkier Bond. Like
that's
I
where they're
love
going.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, they said they're going to do young
ones, but
and I think I hope they learned some stuff from this game. I liked all the like. You could, you know, there is a world where this like recruit stuff doesn't work, where you're hanging out with all these like 6 other like dude bros. and like it's just not interesting, and like the tutorial, it's a long tutorial and it sucks. But like they do this really interesting thing with the tutorial where it kind of feels like you're in a montage, and it's just
It's a
like
montage.
you're
It's a
doing
great
this,
video
you're
game
doing that,
montage.
you're doing that. Now
Yeah.
you circle back to shooting, and now you're doing shooting, and you circle back to.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's showing time progressing and you getting better, and maybe add a couple layers to like maybe what you need to do,
And some
and then you're meeting all these
relationships
people, and they're
building.
kind of fun and interesting. And it's just good, and like yeah, I could see maybe the movies, you know, Denny V I think is doing the next one, he looking over and being like, this might work, you know, some a young you know, I know they're doing a young Bond, but like doing a school like where he's learning how to be a 00 agent for like that first season, maybe, I don't know, you know,
maybe. Yeah, man, I absolutely love this game, and I can't wait. I'll probably finish it this weekend. I was flying through a bunch of it way too late last night. I'm sure you guys had the same experience this week. Like, whoops, stayed up too late on that one.
For sure.
Okay, and so anyway, I'm looking forward to wrapping this one up. It's very, very good. So, and highly recommend it to everyone. The reviews aren't lying, and it's not just critic reviews. And a lot of times those can be divisive, critics versus the general audience, and who's lying, whatever, who's getting paid off. I know, I get it. I hear all the conversations around it. This is one where everyone agrees. This is a fantastic game, top to bottom. Pretty much everyone is like, yep, this is excellent. So, yeah, highly recommend this one. All right. Also out this week, and the main reason I wanted to highlight it is because it is currently the highest scoring 2026 release on Metacritic and OpenCritic. It's not going to be for everybody. Let's make that really clear. Jeff was telling us about some of the descriptions I hadn't really clocked when I first looked at this. But let's just talk about it real quick. It's got a really charming look to it, and it's from a very beloved dev. I kind of had forgotten. I hadn't put all the pieces together right away. I was like, oh, yeah. This is Yacht Club. This is the Shovel Knight people. This is their new game.
Yeah.
Got it. And so now it's starting to come together. Like, this is why the quality's so good and people are loving it. They've really honed their craft. They know what they want to make, and it might not be for everyone, but they know exactly what they want to make, and they're good at this. So, and that is Mina, I think it's pronounced Mina, the Hollower. And you play this little mouse who is running around with kind of this kind of like a chain type attack move. Well, you'll see it when we watch, if you're watching the video here. But it reminds me a lot of old NES style Zelda. It gets compared to Zelda games a lot of exploring, a lot of leveling up. But there's a major Souls-like piece to this. Not only is it's got some difficulty to it from what I've heard, but I think more than that, when you die, you lose whatever the main currency is, and you have one shot to go get it back. But it sounds even rougher. It's not just sitting there in a little glowy pile and you hit the button. You have to defeat the enemy that beat you to get it back. So I'm like, okay, so if you
that's
died,
very Souls-like, yeah.
So if you died on a boss, like, are you just screwed if you can't beat it on the next try? I don't know how that works, but anyway. So it's definitely got a Souls element to it, but a lot of this Zelda stuff is really intriguing to me. The dungeons and avoiding the traps and fighting the enemies and just like the pits that you can fall into. It's just very old school NES and Super Nintendo style Zelda. So, but yeah, people are loving this game. I'm talking like 10 out of 10s and 9 out of 10s across the board in most cases. Which is crazy.
And for people who might hear Soul stuff, maybe even Jeff, I'm trying to recruit you to get this game or whatever, but like from people they were talking about on GameScoop who are worried about the difficulty, you can hunker down and grind and overpower yourself way to the point of like just steamrolling bosses. So that is a option as well. So if these types of games do like, you know, I really want to play this, but I love Shovel Knight, but, you know, I don't like Souls-like games. Like, the game is, you know, it is hard, but it is possible to just, like, sit there and grind for a bit to, like, steamroll guys, so.
I do like that. That's cool. It does have, like, a full-on build style setup where you pick which, from what I can tell, which areas to put your level up points into, so you can kind of build towards whatever kind of skills you want to have. So from what I've been able to, and I only played the demo. The demo didn't show a lot of this stuff. I didn't know it had as much of the Souls-like stuff to it as it does.
I didn't either.
But yeah, I like a lot of the RPG elements too, of course. But then again, sometimes I just want an old school game like this, like we're looking at this old school pixelated style that looks like a Zelda or Link to the Past. Whether it's original Zelda or Link to the Past, I'm in. I like this kind of stuff. So I do want to try it, just don't know when. And I really do have to kind of be in that mindset of, hey, this is going to be tough. I need to be ready to kind of just take a deep breath and go for it. Like, I have to be in the mood for really challenging games, you know?
I hear you. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Same.
Yeah. But anyway, Mina the Hollower, excellent work from Yacht Club Games. Even if it's not necessarily a instant buy for all of us on this show, it doesn't mean that it's not an amazing game. And
small team doing like really beloved stuff, you know, and they've been around
everyone
forever.
is loving
this. I think people have been waiting this one for a long time. So, I mean, and now it came out, people are calling it a masterpiece. So, guess it was worth it, right? I guess the wait was worth it.
I guess so.
Let it cook.
Yep. That's right. All right, so Mina the Hollower is out. Also out this week, there's a couple of really random smaller games that I thought were worth highlighting, kind of in quick fashion here. We've got this one called Stardust Wish of Witch. I'm not going to say it's a great title, okay? But it's got great art style, and I do like a good strategy RPG. And this one, I just feel like, especially for Kyle and Dan, I know Dan's not here, but he would like this art style too a lot, I think.
Oh, I like
but it is a strategy RPG, so he might not like that piece. So maybe this is more Kyle.
Oh, is there too many tactics, maybe?
There's a little bit of tactics happening.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But this one actually looks pretty interesting. I like the art style of it a lot. Again, it's
like card based, kind of like a card system. It looks like.
I think there's a card element to it. I think it's mostly like you would approach like a tactics game, but I think your moves are powered by whatever's in your deck.
Slight deck building, yeah.
I think there's a little bit of deck building. Yeah,
that's cool.
So it's a single player SRPG with beautifully crafted pixel art. Follow the wish granting star and join the adventures of the girl star and the mage Yu. So there you go. That is out now. I thought it was an interesting one to highlight. Next up, we've got Echo Generation 2. You know, arguably one of the coolest looking games. One of the coolest looking games from a couple years ago. This art style is different, but still pretty cool looking. The last one didn't get amazing reviews, but it got okay, and I thought it was okay. Visually, it was amazing. The play was just okay.
Yeah,
sounds like this might be more.
What was it called?
Like it's Echo Generation.
The first one, okay. I don't remember.
It was that. This one's on Game Pass, by the way. The second one.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, the art style still looks incredible.
A little bit,
yeah,
right? The first one.
The first one, yeah, and I was with you on the combat stuff. I just couldn't get into it, even though look at the style of this. Like, animation looks incredible. The world looks incredible.
Yeah,
the combat is pretty cool. When I'm seeing it in the trailer here, maybe they've refined it or something. But
it does look cool.
Yeah, this looks great. But yeah, I did download it on Game Pass. Of course, just haven't gotten to it yet.
I mean, some of these fights look super epic. Like some of these bosses that you're fighting against, this looks really cool. I remember the first one had a real Stranger Things vibe to it. I'm not sure if this is carried over here or not.
This kind of looks like Guardians of the Galaxy compared to the first one.
Yeah, it does. Wasn't the first one like small town kind of an 80s vibe, cassette tapes?
Yeah,
Okay.
This is interesting.
So yeah, Echo Generation 2. I didn't even know that they were working on it, and here it is. It's arrived and it's on Game Pass. So, all right, there's that. This other really random one. It's called the remake of the end of the greatest RPG of all time.
Okay.
Even this.
Why are we showing
iDream of Indie? I don't know. Let me get to the actual thing.
Last of Us.
Right, they're probably talking about how this is like no other game. I have no idea what they're doing, but
okay.
So this is from the iDream of Indie Games channel. I want to make sure I don't just skip through. They're showing some of their content. That's great. Go support them if you want to support a smaller content creator. But this game, I gotta even look up what the description is because I'm gonna get it wrong. Because it's so weird and random.
Yeah.
Remake of there it is. Remake of the end of the greatest RPG of all time. It's a deduction puzzle game set in the last hour of a lost 90s JRPG, complete with original manual, director's commentary, and clips of an unreleased amateur documentary, all used to uncover the secret at the heart of it all. What is the greatest RPG of all time?
Stupid.
That's the greatest concept ever. Maybe.
That is insane.
Very fourth wall breaking, very meta. You know what I mean? It's very interesting.
Yeah, but multimedia also, like it's a live action, and
yeah, I did see some clips where it actually shows people from the 90s like in an office, like talking, like they're like it's a mini documentary of this game as well, I guess. I don't know. But it looks really interesting. It's like $20, I think. It's on sale right now. So it's usually $18 and it's on sale, but it's from Coin Drop Games and Lucas. Let me make sure I get the name right. Lucas Emmanuel. So, anyway, more power to him. It's a weird looking game, but it looks really, really unique. I got to give him that. Very, very unique. So, yeah. Okay.
For sure.
All right. Next up, we've got this game that kind of reminds me of Dave the Diver, but you're actually fishing instead of diving. This one's called Scale the Depths. So, it's got this fishing action to it, but then also you literally are scaling the fish. Like it shows, you'll see you actually are laying the fish down on the board and like scaling them, and you sell it and upgrade things and go back and go fishing again. It's hilarious that your hook is chasing these fish around, by the way.
It's so dumb. I love that.
Yeah, it's very funny. But I just thought this looks like a game that I could absolutely let me just download it to try, and then like a whole week will go by and I'll be like, I can't stop playing. Like this seems like that kind of game if I start playing it. But it is they call it a casual, just a casual fishing game. And it's got a lot of humor to it apparently as well. Fish, scale, sell, repeat. It's a casual fishing game built around this simple but satisfying loop. Feed hungry customers, upgrade your gear, and uncover the secrets beneath the surface. So yeah, there you go. Scale the depths. All right. So that is out now too. This one looks super cool. This game's called Realm of Ink. I think it was already in early access, but now it's on 1.0 release. This is very much a Hades-like game. But I just think the art style looks really cool, and I like the setting, kind of this sort of not samurai, but definitely swordsman in Japan type of look and feel to it. But yeah, if you like Hades and the structure, yeah, the watercolor looks awesome. Yeah, it looks really cool. But you are pursuing the fox demon. You're a swordsman named Red, and you find that your life is dictated by destiny within the world of the book. Only by breaking free can she unveil the truth of her existence and challenge the constraints of fate. So you're in a book, I guess. So there you go. It's called Realm of Ink. Makes sense. So yeah, I like the style of this too. And I do like a good Hades-like. But so yeah, Realm of Ink is out now. Okay. Cool. A couple more. This one's called Lumentale, Memories of Trey. Such a funny name because Trey is just such a regular
Trey,
name.
hi guys, I'm Trey.
Hi guys, I'm Trey. I feel like I delivered pizza with someone named Trey. You know what I mean? It's that kind of a name.
Yeah. We all knew a Trey. In spirit, if not by name.
This is a monster collector RPG set in a beautiful, enchanting world. Follow Trey as he embarks on an adventure to recover his missing memories and make new ones with the Animon. That's right. These are not Pokemon. They're Animon because they're whatever.
Put the pitchforks down, Game Freak.
Right. Is that why? And also, I know Pokemon just patented the ball for catching things, and I realized it was like a
oh my gosh.
So I was like, yep, there we go.
But I thought some of the exploring visuals actually looked really cool. Like when you're running around the world, I actually think it looks kind of cool. So I'm intrigued by it. I'm curious if it's actually good or not. It seems like the reviews on it are mostly positive at the moment from users who are playing it, but thought it was worth highlighting because I know every once in a while a few of us will get the monster catching itch depending on the game and give it a try. So there you go. Lumentale. This is published by Team 17, by the way. They have a really wide variety of games that they publish. If you ever go look at Team 17 games, they're all over the place, man. But anyway, that is available now. And also the 1.0 version of this amazing cozy city builder called Town to City. I love the visuals of this game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very satisfying too, the way that you kind of drag and drop everything. It almost feels like painting a bit. You have to try it to see what I'm saying. But again, very cozy. It's not like you better build this or the people are going to leave your town or they're going to die of starvation.
You have to tax your people and build roads.
Yeah, it's not about that. It's about just creating a beautiful town. And you can make it grow by creating more places for them to live. And it's really just meant to be lightweight, casual. And it's super cozy. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, Town to City, I think is great. All right, and last but not least, similarly but somewhat different, this game called Roamstead. Really clever. This is a
goodness.
At first I thought it was just a kind of a city builder, and then you started seeing the fighting and the building and crafting. It's actually a 1 to 8 player action adventure survival game, not unlike things like your Valheim and Enshrouded, where people can play multiplayer together and live in this world, fight the bad guys, build up your fort, upgrade, all that kind of stuff. So it's a different game than I thought when I first saw a screenshot of it. I did not expect it to be this, but anyway. But yeah, 1 to 8 players can play this and build your little fortress there in Rome. So this is after Rome has fallen and you're fighting hordes of the Walking Dead, building settlements, and restoring the Roman gods, or just kick back and farm with your friends. That's what it says on the description. So I thought this one was
so you can enable a passive mode, I guess. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would imagine that's an option.
Maybe bad guys only come at night, so you can build during the day leisurely, and that's how remember when Fortnite used to be a wave-based defensive game, and
right. that's how it started.
This is what this reminds me of, and that was the same way where night and day cycles, different types of gameplay.
Yeah, there you go. Rome's dead. That's kind of cool. All right, that's it for new games I'm aware of. Of course, it's hard when you're when you release during the same week as a majorly anticipated game like 007 First Light. So this is actually a good time for games that are much more niche, smaller scale, that aren't trying to do a whole lot. It's not a bad time for them to come out because then it's a nice palate cleanser for folks who are playing the big budget stuff when they're looking to see what else is out. But anyway, so those games are all available now to go try. Now, speaking of games trying to get out of the way of the big dogs, and you guys saw this too, Fable has, speaking of playground games from earlier, is now not going to launch until February of 2027. I don't even know if we have an exact date yet. I think it just said February, I think. Now, what I thought when I first heard that was, they probably just want to polish it some more. Because in my mind,
that's what I thought.
I just assumed a game like that with that much money behind it, it's a pretty big IP. It's one that people are anticipating and excited to play. I didn't think they really needed to worry about when they launched. Like, maybe they don't want to launch same day as Grand Theft Auto, but generally speaking, like, it's a very different kind of game. I feel like it could still do well. In my mind, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. They actually posted, though, from the official account saying they want Fable to have the dedicated moment it deserves. It's like, okay, they're saying it. They're saying.
I was throwing out all sorts of theories, like, well, it's releasing on 2 consoles. They probably need to polish it, like you were saying. And Jeff was like, nah, they just want to get out of the way of GTA. Mm-hmm. And then, like, an hour later, the dev was like, Jeff was right. This is what the Jeff said. Jeff was right. We're just trying to get out of the way of GTA. It's nuts.
I think I bet it was like
early, that's
like they were probably aiming for like mid-October, and they were like, guys, this isn't even worth it. This is not even worth it. It's a big game. It's just it's probably a big game. I assume it is, at least.
I imagine it's probably pretty big. I mean, usually the Fables you could wrap up in about 20 to 30 hours. You could obviously stretch that. Like, that's the main quest. You could actually stretch that into hundreds of hours if you wanted to, but they're like short but dense, usually, those games, I would say.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
And again, you could still get hundreds of hours out of them for sure if you pull the thread.
Probably at the request of, I would imagine, Microsoft, once Call of Duty was like, no, we're for sure going to release a Modern Warfare because people always show up for Call of Duty. And then Fable's probably like, well, then nobody's going to play our game. Because they're just going to wait for GTA.
It is true. They would have came out 2 weeks later. Call of Duty would have came out. So you're talking Call of Duty, which is always going to sell, and then GTA. Wolverine is probably pretty scary. You don't want to be in. You don't want to be in like the crowd. You're sandwiched in between all of that, and they were probably like, no, screw this. Like, that's insane. So it maybe not just GTA, but it was everything. It was all those things.
So let's wait until the Witcher 3 expansion is going to come out, and then let's just make sure that we match up with that one. Let's just do that.
That news is crazy.
I know. Well, speaking of Call of Duty, though, they did officially announce Modern Warfare 4, and it's going to launch on October 23rd. This is the first entry to skip the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One generation. So
good.
In my mind, they already were skipping those, but they're skipping those.
Yeah.
And also, as part of that, for folks who play Warzone, I didn't realize that it would just stop working, but it's just going to stop working on those consoles this fall.
Yeah.
So
see ya.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, which is pretty crazy. Now, on the positive side of that, for Nintendo owners, it's been since 2013's Call of Duty Ghosts that you've gotten a Call of Duty on Nintendo. And if you're primarily a Nintendo console player, and you like Call of Duty, you're finally getting one that's actually apparently running pretty well on your hardware on the Switch.
Yeah, even reiterated it. They were like, no, it runs fine on the Switch too, which is awesome.
Another very well done port. It sounds like so.
Yeah, he said we got the
which is
hardware
great.
and we got the game up and running pretty quickly, and now we're just optimizing it for performance. I was like,
Yeah,
dang,
I mean,
that's
that
pretty
system
impressive.
seems like it's super easy to optimize for. I know it's not the place you want to play Call of Duty. I get that, but like
totally
big picture, it's really good for the Nintendo. Like, if you're a Nintendo Switch 2 owner, maybe you're like, where are all the games? I'm worried about the system maybe not really working, or that not doing as well as maybe the Switch 1's gonna do. This is good for like the longevity of the Switch 2.
Big time.
Is that they're trying to get stuff like Call of Duty, which has been absent for 13 years, on there, and that there's going to be parity and all that good stuff. So that's good news.
It sounds like cross-platform multiplayer is in the works, because they tested it and they were playing cross-platform and they said they didn't have any issues. So that's pretty crazy. And also keep in mind, Call of Duty won't be on Game Pass this year, so people are going to need to pick a place to buy it and play it. And there's going to be yeah, I know.
There's a good number of folks for Game Pass are missing out on that. I don't care.
There's a lot of people who are probably like, hey, I'd like to actually play this year's version in my bed on my Switch, and maybe they don't have a PlayStation Portal or a Steam Deck or whatever. Like,
well, I'd like to personally, like, I know my friends, even if they have Game Pass, like most of my friends are PS5 players, so I just stop giving it to me on Game Pass anyway. Like none of my friends are on Xbox, and crossplay, I just never figured I'd enable it. I got to give them props, though. I think, if I'm not mistaken, unless Reddit was wrong, and Reddit's never wrong, so the single player campaign, there is no co-op campaign in this one, and it's not required to be online for single player in this one. Like, I think in the last couple entries they got in trouble for only being single player.
For sure,
yeah, and it was like only single player, but you had to be online, and you're like, why? It makes no sense.
And if you quit in the middle of a mission, you had to restart the whole mission because there was no like onboarding saving or anything like that. It was all server based. So stupid.
Yeah.
Well,
at least I heard that.
Nintendo fans. Pretty big news for Call of Duty as well. I think
they're just like, we're coming out 2 weeks before GTA, and we're gonna make everybody buy it and suck it. Like, it's just very bold of them. I'm very. I don't care about Call of Duty. I'm incredibly impressed at the balls that they have. I gotta be honest. Like, I think that like they're big dogging this year. Like, no, we're the best sellers every year. Screw GTA. I like that. I think that's a lot of fight in them. And
can't say I blame them, because it's like we said every year. I know GTA is a different behemoth, but they show up every time, these people that play Call of Duty. So
yeah. People will buy Call of Duty. I think
definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that is pretty big news. Also, we kind of skipped over this when we were talking about it earlier, or maybe one of you guys mentioned it quickly, but IO Interactive did announce that First Light hit 1.5 million copies sold in the first 24 hours, which is wild. I was actually trying to find out, like, how many sales did Hitman have? Do you guys know?
No, I don't.
I'm not sure.
But the fact that they're celebrating 1.5, and again, like Square, if they were still with Square, they'd be like, well, you didn't sell 9, so you guys suck. Like, I'm so happy that this dev is like 1.5. We did it. I love it. It's all good vibes, man. And it seems like they maybe, even though that the dev cycle was 6 years, that maybe it sounds like they really budgeted and did a good job of keeping the costs of this game down low enough where 1.5 sales is good. Is something that they're
they made a pre-order. We talked about it last week. We went or the week before that we made the pre-order worth. They made the pre-order worth it because it was like, you already got deluxe if you pre-order it.
Yeah,
like,
if you pre-order it, it's such a no-brainer. Standard edition, we bump you up to the deluxe edition, which you can't even buy like standard. Maybe now you can, but pre-launch. And you got a day early and all the deluxe stuff, and you didn't have to charge anything for it,
right?
Except for the basic.
Which is honestly that used to be. Remember when pre-orders used to be that? Like, it used to be like you would get a perk,
all the swag. Yeah.
And now it's just like, no, you're just gonna pre-install it. That's all that means, really.
So as far as IOI's history goes, like, the Hitman games have been successful in the past. Stuff like even Hitman 2 sold over 4 million copies. Hitman Absolution, which was considered broadly.
I gotta go do research for a minute. Sorry.
Bye.
Do you want me to hang up or actually like?
No, you can just go
hang up
and come back.
Just put yourself on mute.
Don't hang up. Yeah, there you go. Hitman Absolution, which Kyle, I don't know if you remember that one, but that one, that I think a lot of people consider that to be, that or Blood Money, one of the best of the kind of
those two are the favorites.
Yeah. So that was also 4 to 5 million copies, and then the newer trilogy, it said that over the course of the trilogy, because now it's a combined game just called World of Assassination, and you buy all the add-ons you want for it.
Yeah, it's
Which,
one game
love
now.
it or hate it, that's just how they decided to do it. I understand that some people don't love that, but that's over 25 million sold across all 3 games and the consolidated version. So that's a lot. So
yeah.
the fact that they've got that kind of success, and then looking at Bond like, hey, 1.5 million in the first day, and they're celebrating that and announcing that, I feel like they've got some pretty good high hopes for this, and they're planning on,
Their
like
games
you
have
mentioned,
legs
rolling out
too.
so
Like
much
they
content.
do sell across years, and like games usually don't do that anymore. That's the big thing about the industry, is that like you can't anticipate your game ever having legs almost ever anymore. But for whatever reason, the way that IO does their games and the way that they parcel out new content and stuff like that, people just like, okay, I can kill Sean Bean this week. I think I'm gonna buy Hitman, guys. You know, like it's just, there's something alluring there, I guess, and it goes on sale all the time. You know, so it's yeah, I think this game's gonna follow a similar trajectory.
And I mean, what they did with Hitman, they actually even added in, ironically, the villain from Casino Royale to one of their
Yeah.
special missions.
And again, Sean Bean,
that,
he's in
Sean Bean is in
007,
there.
you know,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's already some DNA going on there. I'm really pulling for legacy missions and tax sim, like the Casino Royale poker game, and you're playing poker and then you're like killing assassins
so cool
in between rounds or something. Like, please give me that tax sim, you know, give us legacy missions.
That'd be so cool.
Based off
yeah,
the
I would
movies.
love that. Yeah, that'd be amazing. But anyway, so that success is nothing to sneeze at. 1.5 million in the first day is incredible, and yeah, remains to be seen how much legs it's got on its own. But then once they start rolling out content, like Kyle said, it's gonna keep us coming back for more. And when people see an announcement of like, you know, maybe they add a Daniel Craig skin or add missions like you just mentioned right from the movies or something like that, I could totally see it, you know, getting another wave of people wanting to play it. If they have DLC and add some kind of story elements to it, to keep telling a little bit more of this new version of Bond's story.
I would love a little DLC or something like that. Yeah.
Kick it in. Yeah, I would too. I would too. So yeah, kudos to them. That's really impressive to sell that many copies. All right, let's get serious. And one bad piece of news before we get back to some good news. The Steam Deck price increase is absolutely insane. So like we've seen
hundreds of dollars.
It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. Okay, so the Switch has gone up. When they announced the price increase, I was like, oh no, we're going up $50. I was like, okay, like that's a bummer, but also like, all right. PlayStation, now they've done it multiple times, I think, but you know, going up by 100 is like, oh, that's a lot. Steam Deck was, just as a reminder, it launched at $550 for the 512 gig model, or $650 for the 1 terabyte model. Okay, so like for the tech that they're providing and for the storage that's there, those aren't bad deals. You can play out your whole Steam library on there, and it's technically a little Linux-based PC. You can kind of do whatever you want on that thing. If you really wanted to use it as your own little mini PC, you technically can, if you know what you're doing. So pretty solid piece of tech to handle all those things. Great. Now it's been surpassed in power and by some of these other platforms. I want to say Lenovo and a few others have put out like other versions of handhelds that are more powerful. Even that one that connected with Xbox. Anyway. So Steam Deck, even though we haven't officially heard about a second one, they are raising the price from $550 for the lower model. That's now going to be $780. That's $230 more. And then the 1 terabyte model is going from $650, and it is going up to $950. That's $300 more. What is happening? Like that is insane to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about this? Is this like I understand like the world we're in and all that, but what do you think?
Yeah. Controversies with the mineral, you know, stuff aside, not even controversy. It's just the reality of like us not having enough minerals for it. That stuff's scary. I think this is scary, man. I think like I joked about it it was not a joke in the chat. Like we are being priced out of this hobby. Like it is. Yeah. It is becoming a mega luxury it's like golf now, like for like old white dudes, like, you know, how much golf clubs cost and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And memberships and everything. Like this is not a cheap hobby anymore. You know, we're talking like just to get in the door, it seems like everything's $1,000 now, bare minimum, except for the Switch. They're still, you know, plucking away pretty well, which now the Switch it's so funny. We were all losing our minds about the price of the Switch last year. And now it's like, they're hundreds of dollars cheaper than a lot of these options. So it's like that righted itself out, you know.
And clearly able to handle stuff like all the big releases this year that are multi-platform for the most part are hitting this
hella optimized
system.
and looking good.
Yeah.
They are.
But yeah, that is quite the price. I've never heard of a price jump like this.
And you know, I mean, I pile on Steam here, but everyone is raising their prices right now. So pile on everybody, you know. I don't even know if we should be piling on anybody. Maybe this is just the way that the world is now because of again, our lack of minerals and materials and stuff like that. So it's I don't know. Did I just buy my last system when I upgraded to the PS5 Pro? Like, is that the last one I'm buying for a while? You know, like, because I'm not paying $1,300 for a PS6.
No.
I'm not gonna do it. Like,
I can't do it. No,
I can't. You know, like, let's say we give me a layaway program or something like that. You know, I'm not gonna eat $1,300. I'm just not. You know, especially because we know that generations like they go on for years beyond, you know, the generation technically ending, you know, like PS5, you know, we were still making, or 4, we were still making games for that just a couple years ago. So, I don't know. I'm scared, you know, hopefully something happens where we write it around or come up with some synthetic something to replace what we need. But, right now, this is, sadly kind of the state of things, it looks like.
I think so too. And the other thing that worries me is, what Steam's going to price their next 2 pieces of hardware at, which are supposed to come out this year, which now I'm starting to doubt.
Weren't people like guessing like, oh, it's going to be like 900 to 1,000, and like, well, no,
I
your
think
Steam
now
Deck is
probably
that
1,500 for
now it's that, right? With like reflecting off of these prices for sure, right?
I forget what they're calling it. It's like the Steam Machine type of a thing. I forget the name of it. And then they have the frame, their VR headset that's coming. That's going to be more expensive too.
So like, what that's going to cost,
yeah. I mean, the controller is 100, which to me isn't crazy compared to other controller prices, but that doesn't have the parts that you're referencing that are really struggling, you know, to they're really struggling to get. They're really struggling to get those parts that they need to make more Steam Decks. I've heard people talking about how hard it is to get a Steam Deck. Well, now you can get one. You're just going to pay a lot more for it. Apparently, they're available again. They're just really expensive. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Last 2 announcements here. One we already talked about, but we'll get to that at the end because it's exciting. Dragon Quest 12 Beyond Dreams has been officially announced. And if you have been paying close attention and you're a Dragon Quest fan, you're going to say, hang on, that was called Dragon Quest 12, The Flames of Fate. You're like, yeah, it sure was when it was announced 5 years ago. And it sounds like that development at some point along the line, we don't know when, at some point that development was restarted. There's a totally different protagonist. There's a different story. We don't know. If it was rebooted early on, they just didn't talk about it. Was it rebooted recently? And we still have a long, long wait ahead of us. There's no release date or window for it. But anyway, Dragon Quest 12 is on the way, and it sounds like they're happy with the direction that they're taking with it. At least that's good.
Yeah. I think people were a little surprised that they completely bailed on the like darker themed one. I mean, even the name of the one from a few years ago when they announced it, like that's a darker sounding name. And now this new one's what is it called? Dream something of Dreams.
Beyond Dreams.
Beyond Dreams. And what was the original one called? Did you have it in front of you?
Flames of Fate.
Flames of Fate. Yeah, I mean, just like there's tonal differences there, and I think they were really going for a darker tone. And from what they gave us information wise none of it was working, so they decided to scrap it, reboot this, and obviously give it a little cheerier thing. When you see the trailer, it's very hyper colorful, and this is where I'm glad Dan's not here so I don't get any judgment, unless you're going to judge me, which you should if you feel that way.
I will.
I do not like the way this game looks. Holy crap. Oh my god. I do not like the protagonist. I don't like the colors. I don't like the way that anything looks. And it's just like, what? So Akira Toriyama died, and they just like, well, they're like, I guess we just won't use that style anymore. We'll just come up with like a new weird looking style that doesn't remind me of what Dragon Quest is. So that's my controversial take for the week. But still excited for the game. I like Dragon Quest, but
talking about this guy?
It is. Yeah. I don't mind the character model. It's just the style. Like his hair is fine. Like there's nothing. One-sided shoulder pads. None of it is offensive. I just like if you pull up Dragon Quest 12 or 11, excuse me. Like that's a classic Akira Toriyama style, and it just looks good. This just looks weird to me. I don't know. It kind of looks like AI to me, to be honest. It looks like weird AI.
Doesn't look great.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad you agree, because I don't know
It doesn't
how
look great.
people feel, but I like the way that Dragon Quest traditionally looks, and I wish they just would have kept that style. This doesn't do it for me. I don't know. His eyes are weird. I don't know. There's something off about all of it.
He's dead inside.
He's
Yeah,
dead
there's
inside.
something.
Yeah.
There's something not quite right. But who knows, man?
I'm excited
It
though.
sounds
I
like
think
they've
Dragon
got a
Quest is
lot of
great.
development time ahead of them, and
Yeah.
hopefully it comes together and is a good game. But all right, last but not least, this is exciting news for Witcher fans, and this is rumored, and I kind of chuckled about it. I was like, yeah, right, that'd be so stupid. Why would you release DLC for a game that's now 11 years old? Like, why would you do that? They're like, this is why we're gonna do it, and everyone's excited, and they're all gonna pay for it. Okay, good point, good call. So this is a third expansion for The Witcher 3. The first one being the Stone. What was it? Hearts of Stone, which was kind of integrated into the game. It wasn't really adding new areas to explore, just kind of new characters, new story, and new missions to do. And then of course we had the Blood and Wine, which was an incredible expansion that added a giant new area with tons of new stuff to explore, whole new story, almost Witcher 3.5, like really amazing standalone experience. That was still connected to the main game, of course. And now we're getting Songs of the Past, which we don't know a ton about Songs of the Past yet, but we do know that they're launching it in 2027 is currently the plan, with no other details on what time of year, if the end of the year, is it the launch year, who knows. But they're working on it with this team called Fool's Theory, which I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about Fool's Theory. That was a first. I hadn't really heard of them before, so I looked into them a little bit. So Fool's Theory has already been around for a long time. They've got industry veterans who have been working on games since Witcher 3 and before that even. They have developed a few of their own games, like the Thaumaturge was them. This game called Seven was them. That was their own games. But they have provided support development for everything from Baldur's Gate 3 to the Divinity games to Silent Hill 2.
Mercenaries for hire.
They're apparently really competent, really great devs who provide support work for these giant teams that are doing mega games. And they are actually the ones that are helping to lead the Witcher 1 remake development too.
Sweet.
So the fact that they're doing this this DLC is starting to make more sense the more I hear about it. And because they've already worked with CDPR on games, including Witcher 3. So, all right, let them do it. Let them do their thing. So I'm excited for that. Don't know what it's going to be about yet. I'm glad we're going to get more Geralt.
The rumors, which this is the rumors, but the rumors ended up being right. But the rumors said that this will be like a passing of the torch story. So it's like it's going to set up Witcher 4 and why Ciri is going to be the main character and give you a send off for Geralt. Even though you kind of already got a send off for Geralt in Blood and Wine, but you know another send off. You know, hopefully don't do something mean like kill him or something. I'd be pretty bummed about that. But but they did double down on the expansion lingo. They're like, you know what we mean when we say that it's going to be as big as like Phantom Liberty or the two Witcher things that you were talking about, which were all like 20 to 40 hour experiences depending on how much side content you did.
Blood and Wine I think I only did 50% of, and I never went back and finished all that content. It was too much.
Yeah,
too much content.
It's a huge game, you know. And Phantom Liberty was, you know, that also felt like, you know, Cyberpunk 1.5, you know, it felt like, you know, almost a sequel, you know, like, so it's like that's what you have to expect. They always kill they have never put out an expansion that anybody didn't like. I mean, it's true. It's something to be very excited about. And I hope, and I don't know if it ends up being this passing the torch story, but if we just get more time with Geralt, I'm happy about that. Give me another reason to fire up, you know, Witcher 3 again, which is one of my all-time favorite games. I'm all about it. So
this time the ending is going to be him like being asked by a stranger, "What's your name?" and he's going to be like, "I'm Geralt Skywalker." It's going to be great.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
can't wait.
Siri does it later. Yeah.
If she starts saying that she's Ciri of Rivia,
a little like lore for Star Wars, like Skywalker is a really common name on Tatooine, which is why they never changed Luke's name when they put him into hiding or whatever, because it's like the last name Smith, you know. So when Rey at the very end, like, very proudly goes, "I'm Rey Skywalker," she's basically saying to some lady, and I'm Rey Smith. So the lady's like, "Okay."
All right.
Yeah, the lady could have been like, "Me too."
Like,
me too.
Yeah. I'm not a Rey hater, but yeah, if you know that lore, it takes away the energy of that entire moment. You know, it's just like, my name's Rey Smith. All right, cool.
I didn't know that.
You were gonna say
hilarious.
Yeah, it's fine. Might as well.
That's amazing. That does add some depth to it. Thanks for doing that for us. I had no idea actually that was like a common name. That makes it way better. Anyway. All right, well, I think that does it for us for this week. Trying to keep them not super long episodes because we have some lengthy episodes, I think, on the way, and I want to make sure we save our energy. We have plenty to talk about because we're about to hit not E3 season, people. Like, we're about to have some major events coming up. We got State of Play happening. We got Summer Games Fest coming up. So we're going to be bringing up like the trailers and the events and going through them and dissecting them and talking about them. So these episodes purposefully not trying to break the record on how long we talk about games. But to recap, James Bond is awesome. Go play it. It's really, really good. It's definitely worth it too. It's not like an $80 game. I think it's $60, right? Regularly priced.
It's like 15 to 16 hours. Like you'll it's not long, but it's not, you're not going to blink and it's over either. So
unless you get distracted like me with the tax sim stuff, I'm already over 15 hours and I spent way too much time doing tax sim.
I mean, just the main quest is about 15 to 16 hours.
Yeah, I got distracted. So I'm like, how long is this game? I stopped for a little while.
3 or 4 hours of the tax sim stuff today. So
wild.
It's easy to do that.
Bloated now.
I'll bring up next time we record, I'll bring up Lego Batman because I have 2 chapters left, and I think it's going to be pretty short.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you finish Lego Batman. I'm I really want to finish Pragmata. So if we can both, that's our homework assignment. We got to finish those games.
Okay.
Before next week.
Reasonable.
That's the goal. All right. Thanks everybody for watching, listening. Thank you guys for being here. See you on the next one. Bye.